to pack my very first order. So I bought these bags from Amazon, and I was just trying to figure out how it would look. This is the hair, but I need to get 4 more in here, or no, 3 more. So this is a good fit. And so right now what I'm going to do is see if I have the colors that I need to pack the order. And if not, I'm gonna have to go to the store because all of my shipment hasn't come in. But I'm thankful for the order. So this is my big bag of hair that I already have. So I'm gonna see what I have in here that can fulfill the order. So I know I need 27, but I also have this 27 613 mix, which is the color I need, and then I need 4. But I don't think I have a 4. That's definitely not 4. Okay, I have 1 4. So I need more than 1. So I definitely have enough 27 and 613. So I think I just need to get a pack of 4 and I can fill her order. So I will be sure to film me mixing up her order and packing it and taking it to the post office. Y'all, I started this business like the mid-September and I already have a sale and content going up on YouTube. I'm ecstatic.
So I ran to the store and I got the color 4 and I started mixing it. I realized that I didn't include the color 30. That was part of it. So as I started mixing, I was like, why does this not look right? And I was like, oh, because you didn't add the color 30. So you will see me at some point add the color 30 because, you know, that's what I needed to add. So I'm going to write a nice little note. I was trying to look for a thank you card in the grocery store, but they wanted like $5. Like, where's the 99-cent section? 'Cause that's the section I need. So I'm gonna write it on the packing slip. Let me not put her information up there. And then get this over to the post office. I also had to buy some tape because children think tape is a toy, and so I couldn't find any in my house, even though I know I should have some. So here's my little note. This is so fun sealing up this first package. I am literally so excited. Like, I'm like a kid in a candy shop. Because it's like one thing to have an idea for something, but you don't know how it's going to fare. You're not sure if other people are going to be receptive to the idea. So to get this, kudos. I'm just really ecstatic. Am I doing this right? Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why the tape is that way, but pull tape. Okay, it's all done. Now I just gotta drive my happy self to the post office and drop it off. I'm excited. Here to the post office.
Now to take this inside. Y'all, I'm already back in the car because that line was absolutely too long. So I'm about to go to my little cheat code place because I do not have that kind of time to be playing with them. So I actually didn't even have to wait in line. I can just put it on the counter, but I really wanted to check it, and she was like, no, it should be fine. So I guess I didn't have to leave the first post office. So it is in the mail. So girl, I wanted to share this hair clip with you. I originally just recorded it on my phone. I didn't know I was going to add it to the vlog, but it really turned out so great. So my mom has been dealing with alopecia, and she's been dealing with it for years. And I actually, asked her permission to share this information because I know that when people deal with alopecia, it can be embarrassing. And at first she was like, I don't know. But then she was like, you know what? This is something that women go through. And then I was even saying, yeah, I possibly could be dealing with it as, one day as well with genetics and all the things, right? So I was like, it brought some awareness to me. So I would really love to share it with people, because this was my first time trying to braid her hair. This is her first time having a style other than a wig since she's been dealing with alopecia. So I really didn't even know how the style was going to come out. I knew in my mind that I wanted to do a braided French roll, but mind you, I've never done a braided French roll ever in my life. So, one, I'm like, okay, how is all of this going to come together? So, I really wanted to at least record some of the process, but I didn't record it through and through because I just didn't know how she was going to feel about having it on video. But girl, I am so glad I recorded it because it turned out fabulous. She went to church the next day and she got so many compliments. And she's loving the style. I think it just gave her a new, fresh confidence about how she could wear her hair, the possibilities. It did the same for me. Like, whoa, I not even like tooting my own horn. I felt like, whoa, God really met me where I was at because I wasn't sure. Again, I've never done a French roll, period. A regular one, a braided one. So I had no idea how this was going to turn out, and we loved it. And it turned out so great that someone at church who is dealing with the same issue wants me to also now braid their hair, and I will be braiding their hair this weekend. There was someone else at church that wants me to braid their hair. They're not dealing with that issue, but I mean, everyone truly was amazed. Like, they know me as well, so they're like, "Oh my goodness, look at what Brittany did." So I think it really was a self booster for her. And now I'm just sitting here thinking of like, okay, what are the other possibilities for her hairstyle so I can give her a break from wearing wigs. And I'm not going to even hold y'all. After a week, I did have to redo the French roll because my mom goes to the gym. But when I was taking down her French roll, I promise you, I saw hair sprouting. And I was like, okay, this has only been a week. So I'm not going to really say anything because I'm like, was this hair here a week ago? But I want to tell you that some of those spots of hair that I saw, I'm like, this was not here. And you can see the look on her face right here and the finished results. Like, we loved it. And now it just opened up a whole new world. So let me know in the comments, what did you think about this braided French roll? Because again, we are loving it. So, y'all, I have to tell y'all this crazy story that happened to me. So I've been reluctant to get behind the chair and actually braid people's hair. And not even because of this story I'm going to tell you, but more so because it's just really time consuming. It's hard on the body. I have multiple kids. So to me, it's hard to be out of commission for that long and then still have to come back and
do all the things that a mom has to do. But it's funny because I also see all these videos on like TikTok and Instagram of people talking about they can't find good stylists, they can't find reliable stylists, telling all these crazy stories about how they don't show up for them, or they're scamming them. They do their hair, and when they finish, it's like, that wasn't your work, like, because my hair looks a hot mess. Still wanting the people to pay them. I don't know if you've seen any of those stories, but I have a crazy customer story and I'm going to tell you guys. So this all happened about a week ago. So I guess to start the story from the beginning. So my daughter started school. She's in the 5th grade. She makes friends fast. Like, that's just been her thing. So she started school. She makes these 2 friends that are in her class. And so she asked, can they stay the night? Like, they all wanted to stay the night. So I'm just like, cool, whatever, no big deal. So only one of them ends up being able to stay the night. And so funny enough, when she came to stay the night, I was braiding this lady's hair that I don't actually know, but I kept running into her at the grocery store for like a year. And she asked me to braid her hair. So she finally got around to making like a for real appointment. So I'm braiding her hair, and then this little girl came to stay the night. And so when her mom came to pick her up, her mom was like, oh, my daughter told me that you braid hair. And I was like, no. I started kind of laughing. I was like, I don't know why she told you that. I was like, I don't know why she told you that, because no, I don't braid people's hair. Sometimes I'll braid people's hair that I know. I braid my daughter's hair, which is really the truth. And so she was like, okay, well, I have some cornrows that I was thinking about putting at the top of my head, and I was going to see if you could help me, because she had already started braiding her hair. Red flag. So I was like, oh, yeah, sure. I mean, if you want that, I can definitely help you with that. So come to find out, I think she just did individual braids in her hair. She didn't worry about doing the cornrows, so I never braided her hair. So then time goes on, a few weeks. My daughter tells me that the little girl is going to move. And I'm like, oh, she's going to move? School just started. But then come to find out, she wasn't actually moving. She was just moving to a school, like a charter school, since a slot became available. So, of course, they weren't like doing sleepovers at this point anymore, but still kind of talking here and there. So then the little girl's mom texts me on a Thursday, and she was like, hey, can you do my hair today or tomorrow, which would have been Friday. And at this point, I think it was already like 11 or 12. And whenever I have to braid someone's hair, I got to kind of wrap my mind around it. I was like, well, I can't do it today. I have some stuff to do in the evening, which was true. And then, tomorrow will just be better. So we agree on Friday. Friday usually is a slow work day for me. I usually don't have any meetings, nothing of the sorts. So we agree Friday, 9 a.m. So then, so then backtrack a little bit. So then I asked her what style did she want? And she said she want this same style like what I have. And so then I was like, do you want synthetic or you want human hair? And she was like, human hair. And I was like, oh, perfect. I just got some samples of my hair. This is what I'm thinking to myself for my website. So I could braid her hair with my hair, and it'll be someone else to be able to like give a testimony. So this all like works out in my favor. So we agree on the price, time, cool. So she comes the next day, Friday morning. She ends up being like a little bit late, but no big deal. I'm not tripping. I have everything set up, like all the hair, the human hair, like set up. I'm like ready to go. So then Thursday afternoon, after I had already agreed to do her hair, my manager had messaged me and said that we needed to meet on Friday because he was not going to be in the following week. And we had to like go over something. So I was like, okay, well, cool. It still shouldn't be that long whenever I have to stop to talk to him. And we have like a flexible work schedule. So I'm like, do her hair in the morning, and then I can just pick up my work in the afternoon. No big deal. So then she comes, like I said, around 9:30. So we pretty much get right started. I get right to it. We talk about the length and like what size braid she wants, start braiding. Cool. So we're talking, we're vibing, getting to know each other. Because even though our daughters are friends, like we hadn't sat and just had like a one-on-one conversation. So we're, pretty much getting to know each other. She's telling me about her life, little different things that she's into. And then it becomes time for my meeting. And so I tell her probably like an hour before, like, oh yeah, I'm going to have to stop at 12 and do like a short meeting. It shouldn't take long. So she's like, cool, no problem. So then like a little bit before 12, she's like, oh, I was thinking I could get something to eat. And I was like, oh yeah, I was thinking that would be a perfect time for us to take a break and you can get something to eat. So then she agrees. She asked me, do I want something to eat? And I said, yeah, cool. So I give her $20 cash for my food or whatever, since I thought it would just be easier. So then she goes and gets the food. I have my meeting. Actually, my meeting is quick like I thought. And I actually finished my meeting before she even gets back. So when she gets back, she tells me that she owes me $3 in change and that she didn't have it or whatever. And so she asked me that I have Cash App or Apple Pay. And I'm like, I have either one, like however you want to pay. So then she's like pulling out her phone. I was like, you don't have to worry about those $3. Like, I'm really not tripping over the $3. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, do you want me to just put it in the money that I owe you? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's fine. And she was like, you want me to go ahead and pay you? And I was like, no, we can do it at the end. Because I'm really just like, okay, sit down so we can finish it or whatever. Like, we can worry about all the funds and all that later. So then, I'm braiding her hair. And so maybe around like 1 p.m., she's like, oh, okay, well, I have to go get my daughter. Because since she's in charter school, like you have to pick your kids up. You have to provide transportation. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And she was like, will you be done by then? I was like, well, I can't really say I'll be done by then at this point, but I might be pretty close to being done. So around 2:06, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to be done. Like I'm finishing, like I'm close to being done, but I know I'm not going to be done before it's time for you to leave. And so I was like, you can just bring your daughter back here after you pick her up. I'm sure my daughter would love to see her. And she's like, yeah, same. I know my daughter would love to see your daughter. So then we get to where it's only like 2 rows left. So I tell her, I was like, okay, we got 2 rows left. We don't have that much left. So, we'll just finish when you get back. So she was like, okay, yeah, I'll be back in an hour. So she leaves. She's like, I'll be back in an hour. So I kind of thought, hour. But I'm like, okay, well, I guess it might take that much amount of time because, the school traffic and it's not like right where we live. So cool. So then she leaves and I start getting to work because at this point, I haven't worked at all really outside of the meeting. So I'm into my work, time's going by, but I'm not really tripping because I'm like, I'm working. It's really not a big deal. Like at least I get to do my work. So then the first time that it actually dawns on me, I was supposed to have a play date with one of my other friends for my youngest child. And so I text her like, hey, I don't know if we'll be able to do the play date because now I'm like waiting. I still have to finish the girl's hair. And at this point it's 5:30. So then my friend was like, well, maybe you should call her. But honestly, y'all, I was just busy doing whatever I needed to do. For some reason, I really wasn't tripping over it. And so I didn't call her until 7 because then I went and got food, all the things. So I'm like, well, let me just be in a state where whenever she gets back, I can just finish it and I don't have to stop to do something else, right? That's kind of how I was thinking in my mind. And so I call her, no answer. So then I started texting my same friend and she was like, well, girl, this is strange. She was like, you need to text her and be like, hey, what's the what? Like, I need to plan the rest of my evening, So then I text something around that, like, hey, just trying to make sure you're good and like what time you're going to come back because, I'm trying to plan the rest of my evening. No word, no word, no nothing. So by this time, my youngest child went with my friend. And so I went to go pick him up. And she was like, well, you should just send her like a Apple Pay request for what you think is fair since you didn't finish the 2 rows or the ends of the hair. And so I gave her a price, what I thought was fair. And I texted to her and I said something like, doesn't look like we're going to finish tonight, but you can go ahead and pay the balance based on the work that we did. No word, no message back, no money sent. So then I called my mom, and then I'm calling my husband or telling my husband, and they just, what? That's well, my husband, he was trying to be cool about it. He was like, well, something must have happened. She must have had a car accident. And so then my mom's like, oh, no, she didn't, because my mom don't play. But then I started telling them, as I'm playing through the conversation, I'm like, well, one, I'm not like sure of her last name. There's so many things that I don't know about her. So we did go like on a deep dive, and we were able to figure out some of her information. I'm not going to say all this stuff on the video on the internet, but the next day, my friend, one of my other friends, when I started telling them about it, she was like, well, just wait 24 hours, just remain professional. Don't, be emotional about it, because usually the story that we tell ourselves isn't the actual story of what's going on. I'm like, okay, cool. So she was like, wait 24 hours and send her a message like, hey, I'm kind of shocked that, I still haven't heard from you. I would like to receive my clips back. So I forgot to say that part. She left with my clips in her hair. And if you braid hair or do your kids' hair, every clip, you want every clip that you bought. I even be fussing at my kids like, where are my hair clips? Like, leave my hair clips in my room, in my bathroom. So I'm like, hey, can you pay this balance and return the clips? Like, thanks in advance. Very polite about it. Literally no words. Still haven't heard from her. So it's been a week and some change since this incident happened. And it's no words. And so the reason I'm telling you that story is because I hear all these crazy stories about the hairstylists, but not so many about the customers. And I understand that's probably for a good reason. Like, you don't want to be a hairstylist and keep making these videos about unprofessional interactions with your customers. But it's like, wow, if that's what you guys are out here dealing with, that's very scary. Like, I know people walk out on paying for their hair, but the fact that we have a close tie, we live in the same area, I'm just really shocked that it happened. And the boldness of it, because I would never try anybody's life like that. I think that's where the shock factor comes in. And I've heard of people walking out on their hair appointments and stiffing the stylist, but like someone you actually know. I mean, granted, we're not friends or anything, but our daughters are. Their daughter has stayed at my house more than one time. So it's kind of like, why? Whatever was going on, I'm an understanding person. And to me, getting your hair braided is not a necessity. So, it's not like you stiff me on some food or some groceries. Like, getting your hair done is not a necessity. So, yeah, y'all. I don't know. So I'm going to stick to selling my braiding hair for now. And I'll just pray on servicing people, because that's a lot. But until next time, I will see you guys in the next vlog. And I hope you have a great day and no one is out there scamming you of your hard-earned money.